These are Funky's 9 practical tips to be slightly above average at the game of 2K. This video is not for you sweaty stage sweats out there playing the game 20 hours a day, except for tip number 4. That one's for you too. But these tips are more for the casual to beginner players so that they could be solid at the game of 2K. Now my qualifications are this. Here's my stats, and look, keep in mind the records, it's aight, but I do challenges like this. But the win percentage is not terrible. I will give you each tip, why it's important, and the potential downsides to it, because I don't want to be just like a beacon of, yeah, this is great, you know what I'm saying? I want to give you both sides of it. So it's your choice if you want to choose to use it, but I believe all this is good advice. With that being said, let's get right into tip number 1. If possible, try to pre-order the game. Now I understand that's not possible for everyone, but if you can do it, you get the extra free shit, you know what I mean? They just give you free shit, so why wouldn't you pre-order the game? You go and get it. The main thing is don't wait till the first week and then buy the game, because that's just stupid. If you're gonna wait till the first sale or something, get your money's worth. That way you're on par with everyone's skills in the beginning of the year, and you don't have like that curve to learn into it, you know what I mean? Now the potential downside to this is if you do get like legend pack or whatever, you get VC from it, and you pour all your money into a build that is trash, you gonna be like, why the fuck do I do this? I do this every year.
Damn it, I'm so stupid. All I had to do was wait, and now I look stupid.
If you do get a legend pack, save that VC, because you truly do not know what build is good until like October. Tip number 2 is don't go to the park on the first day of release, please. You don't want to be one of them 85 overalls with no badges, pissed as hell at Ronnie because you got dropped off by a 70 overall who's been grinding my career for the past week and has all his fucking badges. This is what you want to be. You want to be that guy, but don't be mad at that guy, because he was smart with it. Grind my career on the first day. Do that. I know it sucks. Throw some music in. Watch some YouTube. Watch me. One of some of my videos. Do something, but you got to get that work in. Get the badges, and trust me, everything else will be easier. The potential downside, or the other side note, because I said I'd say it with all of them, I don't think it's a good idea ever. You could get away with this if you're a center, because that motherfucker's bored like crazy. If you make a glass cleaner or some shit, it's probably good, because nobody can make the shots on the first day. So that's the one asterisk I'd put next to that one. And tip number 3 is to work your way up the difficulties until you are whooping Hall of Fame difficulty AI players in my career. The pros to this are huge. Not only do you get to nail your jump shot down, because you ain't gonna make the slightly lates and slightly earlys anymore, you also get to learn how to play like smarter basketball that will help you in the park. This is not just, hey, look at me, I'm playing my bro. I'm being serious with it. You get to learn some of the glitches of how to get like steals and cheeky shit on AI players, because the day's gonna come in the park when someone quits on the other team and you know how to lock that guy up or not get locked up on. You know how to score on AI every time. And I can't tell you how many steals I've gotten in the rec, because the opponent was an AI player and I went up to him on the inbounds and then just tricked him and got the steal. It's like little shit like that where it's like, yes, my career is great, and on top of that you get so much VC. The potential downsides to this though are as following: rage and slower badge progression. But that's why I say work your way up to it. So early in the game you want to get your badge, get a few badges, and then work your way up to Hall of Fame, so that when you're on Hall of Fame you could actually make shots, because you ain't making shit if you like a 70 overall no badge. You ain't doing shit on Hall of Fame. Now the first 3 tips were my career / first day tips, but this is a more serious one that I want y'all to hear. Now trust me, I've had my fair share of rages and shit, but do not ruin a friendship over 2K. I stress that. That's the most stupid thing you could ever do. I know it sounds dumb that I'm even saying this, but I've seen this shit firsthand. Do not rage at your friends because of some shit they did in 2K. Alright? Y'all friendship way more important than that. I just had to let y'all know, for the young folks at least. If you that mad at the game, just breathe in, you know what I'm saying? Let it go. Alright? You'll be right back on the next week. And understand, if you do have a friend that's new to 2K, he's your friend, you just got him on the 2K, that's what I Got Cancer is. He ain't played basketball, none of that shit. But he wanted to play with me, so I knew I never took that shit for granted. So I was never any kind of way. And when he was kind of trash in the beginning, I'll be honest, it was a little annoying, but he stuck with it, and now he's a fucking beast. So just have the patience. And that's just one I wanted to say. There's no potential downsides to that shit. That's all I'm trying to say, is spread the love instead. And if you ain't getting wins with your friends, hit me up. Maybe, I mean, I am a busy guy, but I'll try to. I love playing with y'all subscribers. I want to meet y'all.
What do you mean by that?
So now that corny ass me is done, let's get on to tip number 5. Now tips 5 and 6 are going to be more focused on your build. So tip number 5 is make a build that caters to your play style and your environment. Now real shooter percentage, your environment doesn't really matter as much, but still, if you know you don't have the best Wi-Fi, a guy who dribbles a lot and needs to time a shot isn't as good as a big guy who gets boards, dunks, and layups. But if you know you can't board for shit, I wouldn't make a center, maybe a stretch 4. Just choose your play style that you like to play as, make that build. Now the downside to this is how much fun you're having on the game. This is the practical guide to be good at the game of 2K. Not the whatever feels best guide. But honestly, do whatever you want to do. This is my advice, take it with a grain of salt. I would just say, if you don't have the best Wi-Fi, don't make a guy who needs to dribble to be good. But also don't be afraid to try new things if you want to. But that's why you can make multiple builds. If you want to try a new thing, make your first build, main build that you're good at. So that way, at least you accumulate the VC and shit, knowing you're good at that in the beginning. And then if you want to try, switch off to something else, you do that and you have VC in your pocket. So yeah, do that. Now, tip number 6 is also about your build. If you have friends, you are free to make any kind of build you want and coordinate with your friends. You know what I mean? You can make a shooter, all that shit, and you cool. However, if you don't have any friends to play 2K with and you want to get a lot of games and get the ball passed to you, I strongly recommend making a big who's good as shit at getting rebounds and blocks, because majority of the randoms on Park love being their fucking fancy little play shots doing they shit. In my own experiences, it is way easier to get a game when you are a big as opposed to a small, especially at low overalls. If you do that in the beginning, you just want to get some games in real quick, I'd strongly recommend making a big. Downside to this is you're very dependent on what your teammates do. Not too many centers can take over a game and just win it like a cheesy play shot can, but you will definitely have an easier time getting games. And on top of that, motherfuckers in the rec love playing with good centers. But at the end of the day, it's just my advice, and you do what you want to do. But this is how not to suck. So I lied. Tip number 7 is actually another build tip. I want to give away all my secrets, but this one is make a guy that meets the thresholds that you want to meet. What does that mean? It means every year Mike Wang tweets out the thresholds for the elite dribble moves, the elite dunk, and the jump shot you need to have consistent greens. When you are making your guy, make sure that you are able to hit these thresholds before you rank up to a 97, because I am telling you, it's the most annoying shit when you are stuck at an 84 and you're like, damn, I gotta get to a 95 first and then I could use my elite dribble moves. My advice is to just get it slightly above, get it to that minimum threshold. It's so nice having elite dribble moves when you are a 70 overall, because it makes everything else in the game so much easier. And the potential downsides to this, I can't think of a potential downside. Like, it just makes sense. I mean, I guess you could get one more attribute in another stat, like your post control or some shit, but why would you want that? Just go past the threshold. Just look up Mike Wang's Twitter and he has all that shit. I'll probably throw it up right here. The minimum thresholds for each attribute that you need. So the next tip is for the shooters only, and then the tip after that is just for like dribblers, because that is what I can speak on. That's what I do. So if you are neither of those, thank you for watching, but let's get into tip number 7. Tip number 8. Tip number 8 is pick a jump shot and stick with it. Do not try to find the next best jump shot. No matter what happens to your jump shot, they nerf it, whatever the fuck, stick with your jump shot. Choose one that you find from a YouTuber or one you really like and stick with it. The only reason why you can't green is because you keep fucking around with the jump shots and keep changing. And another little sub tip from that is most of this shit everyone tries to tell you, well, if you look at the hand placement and the feet of, I never had no luck with none of that, and I was always like, what the fuck, what is it? I found it's muscle memory. That's the best way I could describe it. Muscle memory is the way to get the most screens. That's my opinion. Realizing that there are different camera angles for where you shoot from. You know what I mean? How the fuck are you gonna see the hand in the corner, but also on the top of the key on the right and the left corner? You know what I mean? Try to get that shot meter off as fast as possible, because that shit still gives you boosts. And then just keep shooting it. In my career, you will get better with it. You'll find your jump shot and you will stick with it. You will get better with it. And it takes time. You know how this shit go, or you should know how this shit goes. Every year it's a little bit of an adjustment period, but once you get it, you will have it. And you can always come back to it. It's muscle memory at that point. You know that shit. It's muscle memory. Now, the potential downside to this is, like I said, your jump shot could get nerfed, but at the same time, if it's really bad, you could change to another one that the motherfuckers are saying is great, and then just stick with that one. But do not, please, for the love of God, do not be switching jump shots every fucking week, because you'll never get good at it. And try to get that meter off fast. Alright then, the last tip of this video, this is for all my point guards out there. A week after 2K drops, try to find a dribble guide that you could copy or use, because having dribble moves and knowing how to use them is so crucial for Park. If you're like most people in the world and don't have all day to spend finding the best dribble moves on 2K on your own, just look up one from a YouTuber or some shit, because I sure as hell don't have time for that. And the potential downsides to this is if they patch the dribble moves, but then again, you can just find another one. I'm only saying these potential downsides as like some small shit. Most of these tips are very good. I'm just trying to keep it honest with you, so you can't be like, well, why didn't you say that? Well, I'm giving you both sides of the coin, so it's your choice. That is all I got for you. That was my 9 tips for how not to suck at Nba2k23. I hope y'all enjoyed, and good luck this year, because I know the Funkeybananas Nation is gonna have the best fucking slightly above average players in all of 2K this year. Let's go.